Hey there, this is Rick. I hope you're having a great day. In today's video, we're going to pop out in the van, have a little jaunt around, and I'm going to be having a little chat about some of the things that have been going on in Rick World. Now, fair warning, this video is going to be discussing some personal issues, and there may be multiple references towards things like digestive issues. So if you're a bit squeamish about that sort of thing, do feel free to pass this video by and go and watch something else. But if you're curious and interested, then feel free to stick around and I'll tell you all about it. Now, first of all, you may have noticed that the voice you're hearing does not necessarily match up with the lip movements you're seeing on the screen. That's simply because I went out yesterday in the van. It was a beautiful day, very, very cold. It was about 5 or 6 degrees. But really sunny, blue sky, and I decided, right, I'm going to go out in the van, make a little video. Unfortunately, it was just so rambling and incoherent that I just couldn't use it. The things I was rambling on about, I don't know whether I'm just out of practice or whatever, so today, the next day, I decided I'm just going to pop a little microphone over my ear and have a little wander around the house and try to make the vocals for that video, but I will still use the footage that I filmed yesterday. So hence I'm going to be chatting away in silence on the video, but you're going to be hearing my voice that's recorded the next day. So, as you know, not a lot's been happening in Rick World. That's essentially because we've been going through the winter. In the winter time, especially as I'm getting older, I'm just shutting down more and going into this winter hibernation mode. I'm just not a big fan at all of the cold weather, and it just shuts me down. When we get these dark grey skies, you know, very little amount of light during the day, I honestly just go into hibernation mode and I don't want to do anything. I'm just not motivated. But as soon as the sun comes out, as I've probably mentioned before, I sort of feel a little bit solar powered. Like yesterday, beautiful skies, and I actually got in the van and went out for the first time in a long time. I haven't used Guinevere for probably about a month. It's just been sat there while I've been hibernating at home. So, you know, like I say, very little going on in Rick World, so therefore very little to point a camera at. However, there has been something going on in the background, and I've been sort of umming and ahhing whether or not to make a video on this or not. I'm making a video now where I'm almost holding myself to account for something that I'm pledging to do. Now, in the very early days of YouTube, I did sort of make a little pact with myself that I would never do this, because I know myself and I know that my interests tend to wander. You know, I get really involved in something, get really into it, and then after, you know, a number of months or possibly a year or two, I fade away from it and go off and do something else, and whatever it was I was really interested in, it just kind of falls away. Because of that, it's very, very difficult for me to have the level of discipline to make something work on a long-term or a permanent basis. However, what I am sort of pledging to do in this video is really important, and it's something that I really don't have a choice anymore. I have to do this. This is something I have to do if I want to grow old gracefully and not, you know, have a horrible older life, for want of a better description. Now, there is one thing that I've been concentrating quite heavily on for the past just over a month. And I'm trying to make a change in my lifestyle, and I'm trying to make a permanent change. Now, if you've followed the channel in the past, you'll know that I have dabbled with various diets and things like that, and it's always been a very short-lived thing. You know, maybe successful in the short term, but within a few months everything's back to square one again. And that's pretty much been the story of my life. My entire life I have been overweight, right from sort of my mid-teens right through to now. I've always been overweight, but I've also had, for the vast majority of my adult life, major digestive issues, which just have pretty much dictated how I live, and it's one of the reasons why I tend not to go out much as well. I know I've labelled it in the past as agoraphobia because it is an actual form of agoraphobia. Agoraphobia is quite a complicated thing, but the digestive issues are contributing massively to my abilities and my needs to be able to sort of venture outside of my own postcode. Now, early this year, I suppose, while I was contemplating my life, in January, sort of New Year resolutions and all that, I started to realise, look, you're going to be 53 this year, and if you don't get this issue or all these issues sorted out, your digestive issues and the overweight issues, if you do not nail these and get these sorted out, I'm going to be in for a whole world of hurt as I get older. And we all know overweight people, they get all sorts of horrible diseases, arthritis and things like that. And so it's something that I really, really need to get on with and tackle. And so I sort of made this little vow to myself at the beginning of the year that this year was going to be the year where I pull my finger out, I sort of pull myself up by my bootstraps and actually make it happen for real, not just come at it from a half-hearted perspective as I've done in the past. Now, one of the problems I have is discipline. I'm not a very disciplined person, and the older I've got, the more I realise that discipline, well, it's something you have to nurture. It's something you have to take on the chin, if you like. And so that's where I am coming from. I'm going to use that expression. A lot of people don't like this term, but it does describe what's going on in my head, and that's I need to man up. I need to grow out of this almost like adolescent mindset of just sort of trying anything I want, doing anything I want. That's what I've always been like that with food. If I really fancy them, I'll just have it. And the problem is, it's given me these huge digestive issues that I've been having to live with, and those digestive issues have, like I say, been dictating how my life goes. So I may really enjoy that food for the sort of 5 minutes that I'm eating it, but then for the next 3 days, I'm so restricted in what I can do. Can barely leave the house, and it's ridiculous. It's become ridiculous in my mind to even be in this position, and that's why I have to do something about it. And if I don't do something about it now, I'm in my 50s. I need to grow up. I need to mature gracefully. And one of the things I need to do is start taking control of some of these mindsets that I've allowed to roam free, and quite irresponsible mindsets if you think about it. So that's where I'm at the moment, and this is what I'm trying to do. So obviously the biggest question is, well, I've pretty much tried everything and failed, so what will be different this time? Well, in the past, the one thing that I do recall did work for a short time but was quite restrictive was the Atkins Diet, which is basically very, very similar to keto. And I remember for the first time in what felt like forever, I actually had my digestive system was completely settled down on the Atkins Diet, and I was essentially grazing on cheese, I think, thinking this can't be healthy. And yet for the first time in my life, I wasn't in any kind of uncomfortableness or pain from my stomach. So clearly that was a hint as to I was finally doing something right. Now unfortunately, like all of the sort of fad diets that I ever got involved with, eventually it just kind of fell away, and I just got back on with normal life. And for me, normal life is I'll generally eat whatever I want. If I fancy something, then I'll just have it, and I'll just live with the consequences. And that means, if I really fancy, say for example, a pizza is the worst thing. Every now and again, I'll just absolutely be drooling for a proper pizza. So I'll have, something like Domino's deliver a pizza, and I will enjoy that pizza absolutely so much for like an hour. I'll be sat there, you know, I don't know, in front of the TV watching YouTube videos or something, just with a slices of pizza, and I will absolutely love that time. But then that means that night I won't sleep. I'll be tossing and turning all night. My stomach will be sort of growling and grumbling and churning around. It won't be happy, and then I won't be able to I don't want to go into too much detail, but I won't be able to leave the house for like 2 or 3 days. So that cost for 1 hour of enjoyment is very, very high. And up until now, I've just lived with it. I've just figured that's my life. You know, that it's like a trade-off, but I'm definitely getting the worst part of the deal. So about 35 days ago, I set off on this very determined journey. I'm literally on day 35 now. I started off from a place where I knew that I had some good results with Atkins. So for the last 35 days, I've done, well, not officially Atkins, but I've done ketogenic diet. Ketogenic diet and Atkins diet are pretty much, you know, there are only tiny nuanced differences, but they're pretty much the same thing. So I know keto really well, so I decided to do keto, where you reduce all your sugar intake, all your carbohydrate intake down to no more than about 20 grams of carbohydrates a day. And what that does is it conditions your body to start getting its energy from fats as opposed to from sugars. And I'm now 35 days on. I'm pretty much fully fat adapted, which is the term for when your body automatically burns fat for fuel now. Now, my understanding is the body will, as soon as you feed it sugar, the body will automatically switch off the fat burning and go straight to the sugar, because it's much more easily converted to energy. But as soon as the sugar runs out, the glycogen stores run out, then it has to turn to fat for sugar, and that's when good things start happening. Now, for the last 35 days, I have been on this way of eating. I've lost a stone in weight. That's about 14 pounds, about 6.4 kilos. I definitely feel better, although in the early days I did go through a little bit of what they call the Keto Flu, and I was very lethargic and didn't have a lot of energy. I'm coming out of the other side of that now. My body seems to have adapted well, and each day I'm getting up now, I'm just that little bit more energized, so everything's moving in the right direction, so I'm really pleased about that. And also happy to report that a lot of the digestive issues have reduced significantly. Now, there's purpose in my words there. They haven't fully gone away, but they've reduced significantly, which means I've reduced my intake of things like grains, definitely sugars, and all other things that ramp up those carbohydrates. But my body is still telling me it's not completely happy, and I'm still getting the sensitivity in the digestive system and the pain and everything when I first wake up in the morning. So I'm still at the moment thinking that I am still consuming some foodstuffs that my body is not happy with. But this is a great opportunity to try to nail down exactly what that food is. So over the coming weeks, I'm going to be tweaking and trying to work out exactly which foods those are. I may even, for a short period of time, give up plants altogether. I'm not sure, just for a limited time, just to see what effect that has. But we'll see. It's all a bit of an experimentation for now, but I'm determined to nail this down properly, and like I say, lose the weight, sort out the digestive issues, and then just get on with my life and actually have more of a life than I have at the moment. That would be nice. So anyway, that's where I'm at the moment. I'm wondering about feedback. It would be lovely to read any notes and comments in the notes below. But I'm thinking in this particular case, I'm not sure feedback will actually be that beneficial or useful, because the thing is, when you think about it, we are all experts in food and in food preparation and in making meals, because we've all been doing it all of our lives. And so we all have a way of doing things when it comes to food. The problem is, there is this natural human propensity to lean towards this whole one-size-fits-all attitude, and if something works really well for you, the chances are you'll probably think that it'll work really well for other people as well. And you may be really entrenched into that, this is the only way to do it, this is brilliant, this is how it works. And if life has taught me anything, especially in more recent years, it's not the case. One size does not fit all. We're all individuals, and we all have very, very different needs and compatibilities, if you like. I mean, a great example is green leafy vegetables are peddled as the number one go-to. Everybody must eat their green leafy vegetables. You must eat your spinach and your broccoli and your kale and all these really allegedly healthy things. Now, those things are really healthy for a lot of people, but not everyone. And the older I get and the more experienced I get in all of this, the more I'm starting to realize that quite possibly those types of things could actually be more problematic for me than not having them at all. So these are things I still need to find out. But obviously, any feedback, if you leave in the comment in the notes below saying, well, really you should do it this way or you should do it that way, I don't think it's going to help. With all kindness and due respect, I need to figure out this for me. I need to figure out what's going to work for me, because what works for other people doesn't seem to work for me, and that's pretty much a definite conclusion that I've made so far. Because I've tried doing everything that normal people do, and it's not working. So I have to figure out what it is that is going to work for me. Anyway, I have rambled on. Oddly enough, not quite as long as I rambled on when I was driving in the van. You wouldn't believe the waffle. I think I did about 2 hours of waffle. I was talking about absolutely nothing, and it was quite annoying to edit. And I tried editing it into a video, and it was rubbish. So hence the additional voiceover today. I thought I'd keep things a little bit more concise. But anyway, that's Rick World at the moment, and I am trying to be careful not to turn this into some sort of an obsession. At the moment, I've been on it, like I say, 35 days. It's still very much in the forefront of my mind, because obviously I'm trying to still figure things out as to how I'm going to achieve those two major goals of A, losing the weight, and B, getting the digestive issues completely not just under control but eliminated. I want those digestive issues to become a thing of the past. And it is going to take a bit of time. It's going to take some trial and error. I will get there. I'm absolutely determined to get there. And as I said at the start, if I don't do this now, I will never do it. And then, I'm setting myself up for a whole bunch of problems later on, in perhaps even the not too distant future. So I need to do this. I need to pull myself up by my bootstraps or bootlaces or whatever that term is, and get this done. But I will keep you informed, if you like, let you know how things are going. And what I don't want to do is start doing like daily keto vlogs or something. That's just not going to work, I don't think. I did, when I first set out 35 days ago, I did start making little videos, and I got to about day 6, and I thought, actually, this is turning into one of those chores. I don't want any of this to be a chore. That's the key. If this becomes a chore, it's going to be harder to stick to. But at the moment, I'm having really nice food, really enjoying the foodstuffs, really enjoying the weight loss, really enjoying the digestive issues not being so dominant in my life. So it's all going in the right direction. But yeah, I would be happy to hear your feedback on, if you want to see any videos based around this, because obviously this is something I can make videos on at the moment because it's something I'm doing. Let me know what kind of videos you'd be interested in, and I'll see whether it's something I can get involved with. But yeah, that is it for now. It's been quite a self-centered video, this one, but again, it's also something I need to make for myself, simply because if I find myself waning at any point, I can play this video back and remind myself of the reasons I'm doing this in the first place. And remind myself of the importance of doing it and getting it right and making this work, because like I say, if I don't do this, then I'm not optimistic about my future years if I really don't tackle this. And so I'm kind of being quite strict with myself to just get on and do this, and it would be good if I can properly nail it. But there we go. So that's it from me. Thanks for watching. It'd be great to hear any feedback or ideas below. And until the next video, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of the day, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, take care.